actually don't know how to say this designer's name. How to pronounce A-J-E. Oh, it's just Age. Regardless, I found this set from them and I just thought it was the most darling thing. I thought that this would be an incredible Valentine's Day outfit, but there was a couple problems. One, it was a little outside of my price range, and two, my size was sold out. So I took it upon myself to recreate this outfit so I can wear it for my Valentine's Day date. I was thrifting at Goodwill and I found this curtain, which was the perfect shade of pink, and also I am obsessed with the material. It's kind of almost a neoprene, spongy, scuba knit type texture. It is just 100% polyester. I mean, it was a curtain that I found at Goodwill for $4. I have to say, I like the texture of this fabric much more than the Age version. I decided to draft my own pattern for the skirt just to kind of, I don't know, experiment and exercise my drafting skills. I just created an A-line skirt with 3 panels in the front and 3 panels in the back. Those extra panels are absolutely nothing but decorative. There's really no additional function to it. It's just a flared A-line skirt. Normally, when you are pattern making, you would make a toile before you move to your main fabric. However, sometimes when you're lazy and overly confident, you just move straight to the main fabric, and this is not something that I recommend that you do. We're just gonna play a game of going for it. Before I even started anything on this project, I overlocked all of the edges because this fabric was fraying like crazy, and I knew that I wanted to use just an overlock stitch for my seam finish, and then it was time to assemble the skirt. For this, I just put the front panel together, the back panel together, and then I attached one of the side seams, and then the side seam where I was gonna have the zipper, I left open, and then I just installed the zipper, then the facing. Honestly, this was an incredibly simple skirt to make. I will have similar patterns linked below for you guys to check out. If you are a beginner sewer, I think that this would be a very simple one for you to follow. The top is where things started to get a little bit more chaotic, and you'll see why. I'm using this sewing pattern, which I have made a couple of times at this point. I decided to cut it about at the waistline so that it would be a top instead of a dress. And I have everything cut out and then all of the edges overlocked. I'm just gonna see how fast I can sew this. I have to go to a meeting in about 45 minutes. All of the pieces are pinned together. This is the front bodice, back facing, front facings. Let's just see what we can do here. I was so confident in making this top, I didn't try it on once. I just went through and sewed this entire top. This was my big mistake, not trying it on. I don't know what I was thinking. A week after I had made this top is when I finally decided I was gonna try it on, and it was like 3 inches too small. I could not physically put it on my body. I genuinely could not comprehend like what I was doing, but it wasn't fitting. So I had to seam rip the entire top. I had a really limited amount of fabric, and so I didn't want to fully remake this top because I really didn't have any fabric left. And you'll see why in next week's video. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button to see more insane sewing content, because I am just over the top and crazy, and I like to sew wild things. So stay tuned for next week. The problem though with this fabric, it frays so easily. I was just having to be so careful when seam ripping this top to not generate any holes, because any chance that this fabric could take to fray, it took it. I have runs in the top now because I had to re-sew the entire thing. I decided instead of at a 1/2 inch seam allowance, every time I've made this, I've used a 1/2 inch seam allowance. So I don't know why this one in particular was so much smaller. I'm still confused about it. So I chose to do a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Then all of a sudden the top was fitting. I literally don't know what happened, but you know, it ended up working. So at this point, I wanted to work on the belt. I haven't figured out exactly what I'm gonna do for the flowers yet, but I know that at least for the belt itself, I want it to be like a long, skinny, almost cord type situation. So I cut out, I think it's about 1.5 inch wide strips, and they're all decently long. I think what I'm gonna do is connect 2 of them together, and the belt will be like double. Oh my God, my brain has turned off at this point. It'll make sense, trust me. I wanted to create these flowers and I didn't want them to be 2 layers of fabric sewn together. I wanted it to stay really light and airy. So I created this very terrible flower template. One was really small with 4 petals, one was a medium size with 4 petals, and then one was a larger size with 3 petals. It was my intention to layer the different sizes on each other. After I cut out all of the flower pieces that I was planning on using for this project, I just burned all of the edges, and for the belt itself, I created just a long tube of this pink fabric. Once I had made the full belt, folded it in half, hole for the loop. It's not incredibly massive, but it's also not super little because I just wanted to accommodate all of my little extra flower thingies. At this point, I just kind of started to experiment with the placement of the flowers and with making them. For making the flowers, I more or less just created a basting stitch in a circle around the center of the fabric. And so when I pulled on the thread, it made the flowers kind of scrunch and get that flowery petally vibe. Once I had done that, I decided to add some of these clear beads to the center of the flower for a little bit of sparkle. Because if there's any chance that I have to add sparkle to something, you know I'm going to take it. Some of the flowers had multiple layers of petals, and then some of them I just kind of folded a few times to make little baby teeny tiny flowers. And I did an invisible stitch on the belt to connect the flower so that on the opposite side there's no stitch mark and you can't even really tell where the stitches are in the flowers. And that's like what I wanted. I wanted to try to make this as professional looking as possible, and I feel like I absolutely accomplished it. I am obsessed with this belt. I cannot wait to style it outside of this outfit. But now it was time to move on to the top. And my initial idea for the design for the top, I didn't like Aje's top. That just wouldn't work for me, which is why I went with like this little halter version. Okay, anyways, I digress. But I wanted to totally embellish the top with a bunch of these little tulle flowers that I had. And part of the reason that I wanted to have these little chiffon flowers all over the top was to cover the runs in the fabric that I made from having to seam rip the top and then redo it completely. I just wanted to cover that up, and I thought that with those little chiffon flowers, it would do that in a creative way that was really pretty, but it just didn't work. I still like that idea, and I would love to create a top or a dress in the future where I'm making use of those little chiffon fabric flowers. I'll save that idea for another time. So I just decided to make one little flower just to make the top look cohesive. I wanted it to really look like this all went together. And all in all, I could not be more excited about how this project came out. I think I totally nailed it. If I do say so myself, I think that my version came out better than Aje. The fabric quality is just so stunning. I love that it's kind of bouncy and strange. The texture of the fabric is just incredible. I'm beyond obsessed with it. Anyways, that is going to wrap up today's video. I am so curious to know what designer pieces you are looking at right now that you want to DIY yourself. And until next time, bye friends. We can cry when it's over.